Hi, folks. Welcome back to Full Bore Silver. Quick one before GLOBEX markets open tonight here in about an hour. Silver, where will it go? By my estimation, we're in another falling bull wedge. Unprecedented physical demand. I think this thing gaps up above 93.69. The sky's the limit. Who knows? It could gap down. You really just don't know with these paper markets. But if you look worldwide, the demand for physical silver is off the charts. Now, I wanted to respond to a couple interesting comments, and I really appreciate the commenters pushing back a little bit or adding a different perspective. This relates to the miners that we talked about, the last video I put out. One interesting comment was talking about really doing your research on the individual miners, which you have to do. You have to examine the balance sheets, cash flow, management teams, price to book, price to earnings, etc., where they're mining, the political risks. And so for most people, an ETF is a safer solution to getting access to harvesting that fiat out of the equity market so you can put it into precious metals. That's where our main focus is. But one commenter said that he cast aspersion a little bit on the management teams of Core and Hecla. Now, I would push back a bit on that. Core and Hecla have excellent management teams at this point. I mean, these are all guys that went to Wharton School of Business, Harvard Business School, guys that came over from Barrick and Newmont. Now, Core, they bought back shares instead of diluting shares. And so there was some pushback from investors and some kind of digital media influence campaigns. They have a really low percentage rate on the debt that they do hold. And so people were mad that they didn't pay off their debt. But why are you going to take a chunk of your cash at net present value and pay off all that debt when you could stretch that out and then expand operations a little bit? Now look where gold and silver has gone, and they were able to expand operations, and now they are harvesting gold and silver and selling into these record markets. Now, Hecla, they did do some share dilution back in 2020, which I'm always aware of the share dilution. But again, these companies are firing on all cylinders right now. Huge production, expansion, and honestly, you could have DOJ Barbie, you could have cross-eyed Kash Patel and Dan Bongina running these companies, and they'd still be making record revenues. So I'm bullish on Core and Hecla. Fortuna, he said that their fourth quarter numbers were bad. Well, sorry, they don't even release fourth quarter numbers until March 4th. And then he talked about AG, First Majestic, a tax dispute of some sort. Well, that took place in 2012 with the Mexican government, who is not exactly above board, trying to squeeze First Majestic for $140 million. First Majestic pushed back. They're suing the Mexican government for $500 million for violating terms of NAFTA. So, if you trade on news, that's usually a losing trade. Here's what I'm trading on. Record gold and silver prices, record revenue, profit, cash flow, expansion. You're in the right space. Guys, we are in a commodity bull market that is going to last for the rest of our lives. Copper, they estimate by 2040, they're going to need as much copper in 2040 per year as has ever been mined in human history. There's nowhere to go but up, especially if they plan on all this AI nonsense and the digital data center expansion, industrial expansion. These commodities and precious metals are going to go through the roof. Now, another commenter said that investing in SLVR or PSLV, the Sprott funds, are a way better way to go than investing in individual miners. And to an extent, I agree with that. By what metric are you judging your investments? There are different metrics. You have to invest a lot of time, which is very important, into researching each individual miner, and your mental health. If you're stressed out about these miners going down, you shouldn't be into the individual miners. But in terms of the metric return on investment, let's look at just 2026. That's categorically false. You have higher returns on investment in Hycroft, Hecla, and Core all higher than PSLV or SLVR. Highcroft, we're up 40% in January alone. Hecla, we're up 36.84%. Core, 34.3%. SLVR is up 21%. Still a great investment. You didn't have to do all the work and research. So, hey, maybe he's right. Maybe SLVR is the way to go. In terms of these shorts that we talked about, I mean, these guys are real scumbags. Andrew Left from Citron Research, Hindenburg Research. You want to see how these guys really operate, the digital media campaigns, the fake stories, all the BS. Check out Tucker Carlson's interview. He interviewed the ex-CEO of Nikola, the electric vehicle maker. Now, they were attacked by Hindenburg, and they basically destroyed a company. He interviewed Trevor Milton. Fascinating to see just how these short Hindenburg, Citron, how these companies can destroy a company, really. And of course, they're betting against it, and they're making a lot of money off of destroying value, destroying a company that actually makes something, creates something in the American economy. I mean, these guys are real vultures, and so it's interesting. You know, they're attacking some of the silver miners right now. We talked about 10% short float on Core. I'd like to see these guys buried along with you. So let's see what happens tonight. Silver, I think we're going higher, but you know, I'm scanning Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist, etc. I got a silver test kit, and so I might be, you know, looking to pick up a few coins or bars from people around the area. They see these prices up here, you know, they want to cash out. I think it's a dumb move. I'm going to hold my silver forever, pass it along to the next generation. Silver's going nowhere but up, in my estimation. Of course, not financial advice. Do your own research, due diligence, but let's see where it goes tonight. Have a fantastic holiday weekend. We'll talk to you soon.